What would you say to someone who's afraid of the rocks in whitewater rafting, who'd prefer a much more sedate kind of stream to float down?
First, we would say, whether you're afraid of the speed of your stream or not, because that's what we're really talking about here, is the speed of the current. Whether you are afraid of it or not, you are the creator of the speed. In other words, it is your living of life that is causing you to launch those rockets of desire that are now summoning you. In other words, the power and the speed of the stream is of your making. And we've never known anyone who could effectively slow the stream down. So we say, don't be afraid of the speed of the stream. Just stop clinging to the rocks and you'll have a good time. In other words, no harm can come to you when you just let go and flow. It's the battling the current that wears you out and makes you tired and clouds your judgment and makes you sorry you came.
So it's the leap of faith, trusting that the stream will be safe.
Well, we suppose it is a leap of faith when you don't know that everything you want is downstream and we do. And you're right, because if you knew for sure it was down there, you'd go. And you must not know or you would go. So to go when you don't know must be faith. It must be, or insanity. But what we've noticed is that if you just try to trust a little, that the stream will give you enough evidence that in time it will teach you of its truth and its certainty. That's one of the most wonderful things about law of attraction. It's not arbitrary. It doesn't swirl around on you. It always gives you exactly a vibrational match to what you're offering. So if you begin to pay attention just a little bit to a deliberate effort at letting go of the oars and flowing a little more, and then you pay attention to what's happening in your life experience, it does not take much before you show yourself, and then it's not faith, it's knowledge. So that gap of faith, we suppose, is that interim of time when you say, okay, I don't know if this better feeling thought is really going to get me to where I want to go. All I know is that it feels better. And we say, that's the part that is the most surprising, that it is so hard to convince our human friends about. Because most of you will say, oh, well, I would be willing to do it if I thought it would get me toward my successful end. But I don't think I should do it just because it feels better. And we say, oh, you really did get twisted around in those early formative years, didn't you? Think about it. Isn't that interesting? I'm not willing to think this better feeling thought because it might not work. We say, but on the upside, it is better feeling. And you say, well, yeah, it feels better, but will it work? And we say, how can there be a question about that? Well, because we've been trained to paddle upstream. We've been trained differently. And we say, how's that working out? And most of you say, well, I'm eking it out. I'm banging it out. And compared to the other banger-outers, I'm doing all right. I'm holding my own. And we say, but have you compared yourself to those who have faith? Have you compared yourself to those who trust and believe? In other words, there is no way. When you start going with the flow on faith, and then eventually it becomes knowing, when you get in that sort of flow, there's no way that you could compare the well-being and resources that flow to you in relationship to those that flow to the people who are banging it out. In other words, those that are banging it out, they compare and they say, oh yeah, I make $100,000 a year. And some say, oh yeah, I make $500,000 a year. But those who really, really thrive and prosper, you just can't make a comparison on effort and hours and productivity. You just can't. You have to turn and go with the flow. And then you will begin a new comparative experience, and it will be a comparative experience of others who have faith and who have gone with the flow. And it is our promise to you. Everything about your experience will give you evidence of your consistent direction within the stream. And those who are watching you from the sidelines, they will be stunned at what they begin to notice. You'll hear comments relative to you. They'll say, well, he just seems so much happier. He seems so sure of himself. He seems so much more secure. And it seems that he barely speaks of something that he's interested in, and it appears before him. And it seems that everything I hear him say he'd like to experience, some door opens and he experiences it effortlessly and easily. Those who watch someone tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when they're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on, they'll think that there's injustice going on, because your share of thriving will be huge in comparison with theirs. And we say, law of attraction's interesting. It's like a giant magnifying glass is laid over the whole of humanity. And those who are thriving more, and those who aren't more. Those who are well are weller than ever. And those who are sick are sicker than ever. And those who are thriving in terms of dollars are prosperous beyond reason. And those who are not are suffering beyond reason. And so many people are sort of worried that the middle ground of people is disappearing and the extremes are becoming so evident. And we say, in times of fast-moving energy, that's always the way that it happens. Because when the stream moves fast and you don't stay up with it, you have a horrible ride. And when the stream moves fast and you stay up with it, you have a glorious ride. And there is no in-between in a fast-moving stream. And you all knew it was going to be fast when you signed on this time. You said, ooh, this looks really fun. I think I'll go forth and I'll let this environment stir me up and inspire me, and then I'll turn my undivided attention to what I've been inspired to, and off I'll go. And then you were born, and your mother said, get hold of those oars and follow me upstream. And you said, but mother, it seems so logical. Shut up, no one asked you. Get hold of those oars and follow me upstream, or you won't be prepared for college, where everyone gets hold of those oars and goes upstream. And you say, but it seems like there should be an easier way. Of course it does, you lazy boy. Of course it seems that there should be an easier way. And so the really, really lazy ones become very rich sports figures. As Jerry and Esther are leaving Phoenix on their way to San Diego, it's 400 miles. They know it. They've just got to go west. They know they will eventually get there. It takes a few hours, the better part of a day. But they never get 5 or 10 miles out on the road and start arguing with each other about whose fault it is that they're not there yet. They understand the process of going. In fact, they understand it so well that they enjoy every mile of the journey. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The desert is magnificent. It is a wonderful place to be. And we want you to understand that everywhere that you are, even if you would call it a desert in relationship to some oasis you are hoping for, everywhere you are, there is that which you want to see if you will train yourself to look for it. And the more you train yourself to look for things you want to see when you are in what you, relatively speaking, call the desert area of your life experience, the more you achieve a vibrational alignment with who you really are, and the more you begin to flow more quickly in the direction of what you are wanting. And closing that gap between who you're being in this moment and that which your life has caused you to become is the most delicious state of being. Physical humans keep thinking, I'll feel better. Esther heard it yesterday while she was in the beauty shop. She heard a woman say, in my next life, I'm going to come back as, and Esther is holding her breath. She can't wait to hear what the woman is going to say. I'm going to come back as a man, she said. Because they have all of the advantages. And Esther smiled and thought as many downstream thoughts as she could think. And the other woman said, well, I don't care if I'm a man or a woman. I just want to be rich. And Esther wanted so much to tell them what she knows, but she could tell there wasn't enough time in this lifetime. And then they looked at Esther, and she looked at them like, what? And Esther said, we're all as rich as we can let ourselves be. And they said, did you see these Halloween decorations? It was the swiftest changing of a subject that Esther has ever experienced in her entire life. Because they're happy with their view of life. They are uncomfortable with the idea that they could be living differently than they are. They're happier accepting it as just the way that it is, and they seemed quite comfortable in beating the drum of complaint about it. And Esther thought, well, I'll just plant this little seed, and maybe if there is sincere desire there, they'll find some way of understanding that there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. There is nothing that keeps you from whatever your life has caused you to identify that you want, other than the direction of your boat in the stream over which you have complete control. But what trips you up is you don't have complete control over where you are right now, this red hot minute, in relationship to what you want. You don't have control over that. You only have control over the direction of your boat in the stream. But that is enough. Can you see that that is enough? Because when you stop doing that thing you do that keeps turning you upstream, when you stop doing that thing, you will flow with the current. And the more you flow with the current, the more you will close the gap between what you've been asking for and where you are. Life just gets better and better and better and better. You are creative genius, and you have come forth into this physical experience to create by the standards of your personal preferences. You never, not one of you, intended to use the criteria of others' creations to beat yourself about the head with a club. Not one of you said, I will come forth and I will evaluate what everyone's created, and I will compare what they're creating with what I'm creating, and then I will feel superior or inferior in relationship to what others are doing. Because you knew that this universe was so expansive, so diverse, and that there would be people creating all kinds of things that you were not interested in, and some things that you are. But you intended to come forth to carve out your life experience, because you understood when your life caused you to ask for it, the source would say immediately yes, and then that all you have to do is turn and allow yourself to go with the flow. So we call this gathering the art of allowing. The art of allowing myself in my physical form to stay up to speed with that which my life in this physical body has caused the expanded version of me to become. And as you begin to do this, you're going to begin to feel the true essence of who you are. You'll begin to feel how clear you are, how sure you are, how loving you are, how relaxed you are. You'll begin to feel how confident you are, how much love capacity you have for yourself and others. You're going to begin to feel the God within you present in more of your moment-to-moment, day-to-day experiences. You're going to return to the you that you really are. And as you close that gap, you will rejoice in this physical experience. For then you will see this world as it really is. You will not see it as flawed or broken. You will not see it as digressing and moving backwards, because it cannot, you see. It cannot move backwards. It must become more. And the only thing that makes anyone conclude that it is moving backwards is that they are moving in the wrong direction, and they are creating that tension within their body because they are not letting themselves go with the flow that which is source has become in this time-space reality. Do you know that what you live as you move through the contrast of your life in this generation, in these generations, will be the stuff that the future generations are born into? Do you know that the benefit that you give to the future of those who will come forth into this creative experience, that future is so much brighter because of what you've been living and what you've been asking for? That's why the future is always more. It must be. It is the way the entire universe is established. We want you to benefit by what you in your life has caused you to become.